Okay. We are officially live right now. So, welcome to the Wrestling Pod. I'm your host, Carlito Santiago. And today, we are going to be talking about what went down on Friday Night SmackDown. With, of course, the effects that we have felt after Raw. And, of course, Backlash. This is a SmackDown after Backlash. And we want to know what the hell went down on SmackDown. We were looking for some pretty good things, and this is what started here. Of course, we start to kind of now shift our focus onto Saturday Night Main Event, and of course, Money in the Bank, which is a week after, or 2 weeks after Saturday, right? Yeah, 2 weeks after Saturday Night Main Event. So, we'll be Money in the Bank. So, after John Cena retained the WWE title against Randy Orton last week in what was billed as their final match together, so now, the 17-time champion is going to have a fresh new challenger looking to dethrone him. We might just find out who that is. We also saw Jacob Fatu retain against LA Knight, and of course Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre in one of their best matches from the PLE, all of them in a fatal 4-way. So this show also is going to have to bring up a lot of answers for some amount of questions that we have. So, a family feud is forming. After a video recapping Backlash, Solo Sikoa, Jacob Fatu, and Jeff Cobb, now going by JC Mateo, made their way to the ring. The Street Champ welcomed Cobb to the family. He credited Cobb for Fatu retaining the title, which angered the champion. He ripped the mic away from Solo and said he has done everything he said he would do. Things got tense with them when Solo asked Fatu to tell him he loved him. Before he could progress any further, LA Knight's music hit. LA Knight, oh yeah. But he didn't show up from the entranceway. No, he came out from behind and he pulled Cobb out of the ring and quickly attacked him before he had to retreat because the rest of the group fucking was gonna attack him. A feud between Sikoa and Fatu has been brewing for months, and it looks like WWE's finally ready to commit to it. This segment is a little strange, but it did the job establishing how fragile the bond between them is right now, which, of course, I've stated before, this is a good way for WWE to build to this. You're going to have Solo versus Jacob Fatu, which a lot of people wanted for WrestleMania. Well, you're going to get this you should be able to get this prepared for SummerSlam, as Fatu should lose the title after Money in the Bank on the build-up to SummerSlam. So maybe at a Saturday Night Main Event, and mind you, he won't lose it to Sikoa. Make that very clear. Sikoa isn't just going to pick up the championship from Fatu. Solo is going to be the reason Fatu loses that title. I don't know who will be Fatu's opponent to lose to, but it should be someone worth giving a damn to. Of course, they're probably continuing with LA Knight, who's been kind of surfer, and they really got nothing for him right this moment. They've got nothing for the bloodline at this moment other than building tensions between Solo and Fatu, and there's nothing LA Knight's really doing right now, and they're still sticking with that. So, yeah, it's a bit strange. This is great to see. Honestly, I'd give it a C+, just for the effort WWE is trying to do with all men involved. But again, Sikoa and Fatu are looking to head for a collision. I know I'm doing this a bit early, but again, I'm trying to do some new things for Saturday, kind of early, so just hang in there with me. WWE really likes to show shots of people seeing the face of their rival on the production truck lately. And of course, Sikoa introduced Cobb as JC. It's unclear if WWE is going to try to make this his name, or it's just a quick little nickname. Anyway, they filed trademark for JC Mateo real quick. Like, right when Cobb came out, they were like, we're not going to go with Jeff Cobb. We're not going to keep Jeff Cobb. We're going to go JC Mateo. Whatever. Our first match of the night was none other, of course, than a triple threat qualifying bout for the women's Money in the Bank. And since we are doing this here, of course, I would love to get the pad note back out. Back with the pad note. Here we go. So let's just because we are in the realm of making sure everybody knows who is in actually, I don't know how to spell competitors. Hopefully that's how you spell it. All right, so we got the men's. There's like, what, 6 maybe? We're going to do 6 just to be on the safe side because that seems like, okay. And we're do women's. So we're on the safe side. I should have set this up way before. But we're on to the women's. I'll just put this to the side over here. We're on to the women's, of course. And I'm glad that WWE started here for the SmackDown, the Money in the Bank qualifying match. It's gonna be insane Money in the Bank qualifying. So we had the first match being, of course, Alexa Bliss, Michin, and Chelsea Green. Just to give you a little background on each of them, Alexa Bliss has been a Money in the Bank winner again, so make it 2 times would be and I could already see WWE kind of trying to forget about history and saying Carmella's a 2-time winner. Technically, that is not true. All right, I want to break this down. Technically, Carmella is not a 2-time Money in the Bank winner. She's a 1-time Money in the Bank winner because James Ellsworth ruined the fucking first. He ruined the first ever women's Money in the Bank ladder match. Anyway, Alexa Bliss has won it before. Michin has competed in it before. Chelsea Green has competed in it before. So all of these women have competed in it before. It's going to be in LA. The choice here should have been Michin or Bliss. I don't think Green should have been in this. She's too fresh, and she's still kind of mad that she lost her United States Championship. So, Michin hit a super kick to knock Green out of the ring so she and Bliss could square off. As soon as Green got back into the ring, they sent her right back out. The former Women's United States Champion took them out with a suicide dive as we went to a break. We got back in the match, got a little more competitive. All 3 women began getting more physical. Bliss and Michin were the crowd's favorites, and Green was getting the desired response too. Other than 1 or 2 spots that didn't work out, most of what they did in this bout was good. Unfortunately, it never felt like they had the level of intensity a match with these stakes should have. Green took out Michin with an unprettier before Bliss hit a Sister Abigail DDT for the win. The crowd popped for the finish and popped for the entrance. Michin implied in the backstage segment that if she wins Money in the Bank briefcase, she will use it for her and BFAB to get a tag team title shot. A good thing that Michin didn't win. I take that back. Michin's from California, and mind you, we're going to go into LA for Money in the Bank. That's all I was thinking for Michin. But you know what? Yeah, fuck that. To use the briefcase, now we've changed the idea from, oh, if you win the briefcase, you can cash in on the World Championships, right? Now that they did this with Austin Theory doing the United States Championship cash-in, now apparently you can cash the Money in the Bank in for any title at this point, even though it's supposed to be reserved for a World Championship. I don't know. So, Alexa Bliss won here. B-, honestly. Good stakes here. So, Alexa Bliss is our first entry. We are going to write who she defeated to get in. So, Alexa Bliss defeated Green. We'll just write the last names of them. Green, and we'll just put Michin, just for the sake of it. Green and Michin. Hold on. What the fuck? There's... Okay. So Alexa Bliss is our first entry into the women's Money in the Bank. So, yeah, this is it. This is interesting. Also interesting to see that Green using all black gear instead of the red, white, and blue. She was wearing with the women's United States Championship, but her Titantron still shows the American flag. So, whatever. Moving on. Fraxium has been the hottest tag team that SmackDown has ever picked up. The next matchup saw Nathan Frazier and Axiom take on the men who attacked them backstage last week, Johnny Gargano and No More Beard, Tommaso Ciampa. Ciampa wrestled Axiom to the mat, but the High Flyer quickly nailed him with a drop kick. For Axiom tried a double team move, but Ciampa fell over and they had to improvise. DIY took control after Gargano tripped Axiom during a springboard attempt. Frazier got a hot tag as soon as we returned from a break. He was all over the place, hitting high-risk moves from both opponents. There's one moment where we got a similar reference back to NXT when Ricochet did a moonsault flip from the second rope and Adam Cole kicked him in the face. Same thing happened here with Gargano and, of course, Axiom doing this. They picked up the pace quite a bit. I just wanted to mention that. They picked up the pace quite a bit in the second half and turned this from a good match into a great match. The crowd was chanting, "This is awesome," as all four men were working their butts off. And this is what tag team wrestling should look like. Take this with heart. This is what tag team wrestling should look like. And Monday Night Raw ain't doing that. So we really gonna need the fucking draft to happen. We really gonna need that draft to happen. Axiom has quickly become one of the most exciting acts on SmackDown, and this match was yet another potential show stealer. Axiom ended up getting the pin by reversing a roll-up from Gargano, but their celebration was cut short because DIY was pissed and they attacked him. Of course, make way because the Motor City Machine Guns came down to make the save and took out Gargano and Ciampa before helping Axiom to their feet. So again, this is what tag team wrestling should look like. The replay WWE showed of Axiom versus Street Profits did not do that match justice. It feels like Ciampa has lost a lot of mystique since his heel run as NXT champion ended, and his team with Gargano was good, but he was better as a solo act, and that's true. We also can confirm that Cobb will now be known as JC Mateo, allowing the announcers to call him Jeff Cobb. And then changing his name is such a weird decision. I don't know why. They should have just called him Jeff Cobb, because it makes more sense. But now he's JC Mateo. Great. A minus, bro, fucking, I don't know what you're giving the minus for. If it's for the attack after the celebration cutting short, I don't know. I think it's an A. I think this is what tag team wrestling should look like. They work their asses off. And their match against the Street Profits, they defeat the champion, so they get title opportunities right off the bat. We got to one of the more intense feuds next, as building up on SmackDown, of course. We got Aleister Black versus Carmelo Hayes. And before we get to that, I just want to say, if you are new to the channel and you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button, drop a like, comment down below, and turn on those post notifications so you'll never miss a stream. We would really appreciate that more than anything. Now let's get back to it. R-Truth gave an interview with Wade Barrett talking about what Cena did to him at Backlash. He said if he has to give Cena the attitude adjustment, hey, if I got to revert him back, I don't want to fight my childhood hero, but if it's the only way I can do it, I'll do it. So he says he'll face Cena at Saturday Night Main Event for the WWE Championship. And you know what? If anybody hasn't, please go watch Capital Punishment 2011. I'm going to be brutally honest with you. The fucking pay-per-view sucks. It's a terrible fucking pay-per-view, but it's the only pay-per-view that WWE did in 2011 that featured John Cena and R-Truth in the main event for the WWE title. And that's just there. Thank God Cena and Truth are on a Saturday Night Main Event, and it's not like a major pay-per-view. Because it's just one-sided. But go back, watch Capital Punishment 2011. You can skip all the way to the Cena. If you don't want to watch the entire pay-per-view, go all the way to Cena versus Truth in the main event. You'll find, I think it's Cena and Truth in the main event. But it might be. You might have to find it. You might have to scroll through a bunch of it. I'll worry about that later. Actually, nope. Hold on. Okay. After the break, of course, Aleister Black took on Carmelo Hayes in a rematch from last week's show where Black took on The Miz. Black scored the win in his first encounter, so Hayes came in to this with something to prove. They started with a relatively even exchange, but Melo had to duck a Black Mass kick to stay in the match. Miz saved him from a moonsault at ringside by pushing Hayes out of the way. Once we returned from a commercial, the Dutch Destroyer began building some momentum with flurries of kicks. He even hit a moonsault. The Miz prevented him from hitting before. Unfortunately, The Miz really fucking screwed this match up. Because Miz interfered and drew a DQ. Yes, The Miz prevented a clean ending by interfering, but he ended up taking a black mask for his troubles. And of course, Hayes attacked Black to hit his finisher to leave him down in the ring. This match was great, but the ending left a bit to be desired. So, I don't understand why you have Miz come in there to cause the DQ. Maybe because you don't want Carmelo losing, or you also don't want, the Dutch Destroyer winning. Sure. I get that. This is what WWE does. But to lie here and say that it was because of an no contest, no, it's not a no contest. Aleister Black won via DQ, so I'm gonna give that a B- because you know how I hate DQs. But when done properly, they need to be done properly. This was a good way of using it, though. This was a good way of using it. You don't want Black to lose. He's still fresh on the card after coming off of AEW into WWE. And you don't want Melo to lose because he's been kind of the back burner of losing. So, yeah, sure. You have Miz interfere. You draw the DQ. Miz eats a black mask only for Hayes to attack Black and leave the door open. Which, of course, will be because I believe Carmelo, Aleister Black, and... is it Shinsuke? I think it's Shinsuke. They'll be in a triple threat match next week to find out who's going to be in the Money in the Bank qualifying, so look out for that. But yeah, I think this is a B-. I'm going to change the grade to a B-, so it's going to really come down to what happens in the overall. For Axiom, we're told they were getting a tag team title shot during the backstage segment, so that's good. That's good. Hopefully, they can savor that for Money in the Bank, or they're going to give it next week. That would be nice. Drew McIntyre came to the ring to give a quick promo about him facing Damian Priest next weekend. Inside of a steel cage, he promised that one of them would leave on a stretcher. Why not have a 3 stages of hell between these guys? Why not at Money in the Bank do a 3 stages of hell? Damian Priest, Drew McIntyre, you do a steel cage, you do a stretcher, and then you do the last man standing. Or, like, something like that. Like, why don't you just do a 3 stages of... We haven't seen the 3 stages of hell in, I don't know, in what? 5 years? And then from that 5 years, which was between Drew and Randy, the last time we saw one of those was, like, 7 years because of 2013. So, I don't know. I'm liking the steel cage idea. I'm liking that steel cage idea. That's actually pretty good. I like that. Two men going at it inside a steel cage. This is probably to, like, make up for fucking AEW steel cage match between Joe and Moxley, but fuck that. We got to the men's Money in the Bank qualifying match, as we saw, of course, Solo Sikoa, Jimmy Uso, and, of course, Rey Fenix fight to earn the first spot. Sikoa beat Fenix down in the corner and told Jimmy they should work together to take him out. Jimmy decided to team up with Fenix because he ain't about that heel life anymore. And they sent Sikoa out of the ring. Once he recovered, Solo yanked Jimmy out of the ring and slammed his head into the announce table. Jimmy deserves better. This was a solid match from all 3 competitors involved, but it definitely felt predictable at almost every turn. All 3 guys had time to shine, but Sikoa was the most dominant of the 3. He got the win with a Samoan spike to Phoenix to earn a spot in the Money in the Bank ladder match. After the match was over, Knight showed up and attacked Mateo and Fatu. Aldis came out and said Mateo would face LA Knight in his WWE debut after a break. So that would be the next match. Not only that, but to also confirm this, Julia got called up to SmackDown by Nick Aldis this week. So good on that part. We're going to see Julia on SmackDown more. This happened as we saw Alexa Bliss and Charlotte walk by. That's nice. This is graded a B, and I'm okay with it. So, we got Solo Sikoa in this now, he defeated Jimmy Uso, And Ray Phoenix. Let me... Okay. Good. So Solo and Alexa Bliss have been added to this match. Honestly, they could have done, like, if they kept Braun Strowman probably would have been added to it. Anyway, Fatu and McIntyre had a brief staring contest during Solo's entrance. Phoenix entrance is great, but his music isn't as memorable as Penta's. Fucking facts. The referee missed counting a pin for Phoenix for absolutely no reason. There was no distraction. He just didn't do it. Because referees are dumb. Like, they're more dumb than fucking... Like, you got some smart referees, but goddamn. So we went to a commercial break, and then coming back, we got ourselves an LA Knight versus Jeff Cobb match. The former Jeff Cobb, known as JC Mateo, and of course JC, if you think about it, Jeff Cobb Mateo. So we're just going to call him Jeff Cobb from now on. We're not calling him Mateo. Fuck that. Nobody's going to get behind that. There's no way we're going to get behind that. There's no way I can look at him and say JC Mateo. I'm going to end up calling him Mateo. But Mateo is the name of my half-brother, so fucking... Anyway, I might as well just call him Jeff Cobb. This is fucking ridiculous. Unless AEW's got fucking licensing on his name. That's why they changed it. So Jeff Cobb had his first match in WWE this week against LA Knight, following a couple of attacks from the Megastar. So not only did the Megastar lose at WrestleMania, he got pinned at fucking Backlash, and now he's getting destroyed here. They got started when we returned from a break, and JC... I'm starting to do it again. Jeez. I'm starting to get into that routine. That's fucking crazy. No reminding of JC. I'm just reading on what they... fucking Jesus Christ. They got started when we returned from a break, and Jeff Cobb showed off his power by tossing LA Knight around a bit. Whenever it looked like Knight was going to take control, Jeff Cobb would take him down with a power move. It wasn't a one-sided match, but it definitely felt lopsided. They fought through a break, and Jeff Cobb was still in control when we returned. Knight made a comeback and took out Fatu and Sikoa with a springboard crossbody at ringside. But taking the time to do so allowed Jeff Cobb to recover and hit LA Knight with his finisher, which is like a spinning fucking power slam or some shit. I don't know. So, needless to say, Jeff Cobb defeated LA Knight in the C+ match. It will be weird calling him Mateo after he spends a lot of time with his real name. After he spent a lot of time with his real name. Yeah. Fuck. Anyway, we got to our main event, which was pretty fucking good. Actually, really great main event. Really great main event. The main event was Tiffany Stratton putting on a stellar match with Nia Jax, with the Women's Championship on the line. Stratton got in a few moves before Jax took over and began to dominate the match. She crushed Tiffy's head against the ring post as we went to a break. The champion recovered and regained control shortly after we returned, but a pop-up Samoan drop from Jax stalled her momentum immediately. Out of nowhere, though, Naomi's music hit, and she walked down to the ring with a chair in hand. I don't know, I don't want to... boom, boom, boom! I don't want to make a chair sound. Somehow, you know. How about that? That works. That works. We'll use as our chair sound, even though I'm... anyway. Jade Cargill ran down and took that bitch out. She took her out to prevent her from interfering, so Jade kicked her ass out, and they ran through the fucking audience. Anyway, moving on. Jax kicked out of the prettiest moonsault, which nobody has ever fucking done, mind you, and pushed Tiffy to the floor when she tried to hit a second. She hit a Samoan drop onto the table, which didn't break because it's reinforced. Jax fell into Tiffy when she tried to counter the Annihilator, but the champ grabbed the rope, and you can see the referee tapping her arm to make sure she knows to grab the rope. Jax grabbed Naomi's chair and tried to use it, but Tiffy drop-kicked it into her face and then hit the moonsault for the win. Yes, sloppy moments there were, but this was some good fucking shit. Especially the excitement in the ending of this show was the best part about it. So Stratton defeated Jax and retained that title, so that is good. Naomi swung the chair at Cargill and missed without Cargill doing much to dodge it. Yeah, like they said here, this match had sloppy moments, and that was one of them. Graded a B, and honestly, let's give excitement. Let's give it the B+ it deserves. Let's give it a B+. Just because there was so much excitement in this match. I don't know why, but there's so much excitement, especially with Jax kicking out of the prettiest moonsault ever, which nobody's ever done. Nobody's kicked out of the prettiest moonsault. I don't think anybody's kicked out of the prettiest moonsault. Anyway, Friday Night SmackDown had to deal with the fallout from Backlash, while also setting up matches for Saturday Night Main Event and Money in the Bank. It was a lot to juggle in addition to the matches, but they did a good job making it all flow together. The feud brewing between Sikoa and Fatu is going to be explosive when it finally reaches its boiling point. But WWE appears to be taking the slow approach, which isn't a bad thing if they stick the landing. As far as this week's in-ring action goes, nothing on this show came close to matching the fun of DIY and fucking Fraxium. Other than the excitement that we had in the main event. Oh yeah, Axiom and fucking DIY are the highlights of this. Go out of your way to see it, if anything. They have immediately made themselves an important tag team in the tag team division on SmackDown by producing high-level work every time they step into the ring. The Money in the Bank qualifiers were good, as well as Black and Hayes and the main event, but if you only see one thing on the show, please make it the tag team match. This is great to be, and of course to stick with it. Some of the grades have changed. So yeah, I'm going to stick with the B too. The B grading approach is great. But now to keep it on going, this is what you see on your screen right now. So we have Sikoa already added to the men's Money in the Bank. And of course, we have the Alexa Bliss added to the women's. I'm putting 6 slots here for a reason, because I think WWE usually does 6 slots. They could add more. I'll add more if there is. And I will make sure that you guys all know who defeats who. So then, of course, it makes sense. And you know what? Just because I'm a stickler. Chelsea Green and Micha. We'll add the regular names. I'll try to do it before, because I like to read beforehand. So that it's already added there. So you guys, I can just pull it up and be like, yeah, here you go. Right here. Boom. Right? But yeah, this wasn't a terrible SmackDown. They're going to continue it more with Raw. I heard Raw's going to do some Money in the Bank qualifying matches here. And of course, they're going to follow up with it. They're going to follow up more with it. So hopefully they do a good job with the Money in the Bank. Hopefully they get the right people to win the Money in the Bank. It's going to be nice to see who's in it. Right now we know Solo and we know Alexa Bliss is. And we're going to get some more. Speaking of, let's actually do that right now. Let's look at what Money in the Bank has to offer. It's right here. It's nice. Let's take a look before I get off of here. Okay, yes. So it is 6 people. I was right. See how that works, man? See how that works? Okay, what's next? So, Raw currently has no unannounced participants. For SmackDown's third qualifier, you got... Oh, it's LA Knight, Shinsuke, and Aleister Black. Okay. And then next week, it will be Charlotte, Julia, and Zelina Vega. Ooh. I think Aleister Black wins that one. Ooh. Julia, maybe? If they can get Roxanne Perez in the Women's Money in the Bank ladder match, then totally 100% Julia would be in there. Damn. Damn. I know Raw's going to probably do the women's too, but damn. Okay. Well, that's been the SmackDown summary. I hope you guys enjoyed. I will be here on Tuesday with you guys, 5:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And of course, we'll be talking about what went down on Monday Night Raw. And of course, all of the latest. So, enjoy your guys' weekend. And I'll see you guys next Tuesday. Peace.